So are you? Are you warming up or what's going on?
Oh, I was just waiting for you.
For what?
Oh, I thought we were starting.
We are.
Okay.
So start.
Oh, I thought you were doing it.
No, I said I want you to do the thing before we.
Oh. All right, I'll do my best. Are you ready?
Yeah, just start. Yes.
Okay. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to This Movie Was a Hot Dog. And I just wanted to take a quick moment here before we start the show to let everyone know how appreciative we are. Look, I mean, we want you to, keep checking us out on Facebook. We post pictures and the videos, the comments, and we have to start over.
Take two. Boop.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to This Movie Was a Hot Dog. I'm Francis, and I just wanted to do this.
Take three. Boop.
Hey everyone, welcome back to This Movie Was a Hot Dog. My name is Francis, and I just wanted to take a moment before the show started to thank everyone that's been checking us out, listening to the podcast, checking us out on Facebook, and going on iTunes and actually rating us, because that really helps every time you do that. We're hoping to have a YouTube channel up. I've been promising that for a few months now. I promised that we're going to get that up. I said promise. And we just want to let you know that every comment is read, and we do appreciate it. Even the bad ones, which we got our first hateful comment a few weeks ago. We touched on that last episode. And with that, I think we're going to take it away. Go ahead, Reverend Zach.
You feel comfortable about that one?
Yeah, why?
Hi, I'm Captain Reverend Zach.
I'm Francis.
Welcome to This Movie Is a Hot Dog, a podcast where me and a friend of mine, or my brother Francis, watch a bad movie, critically, financially, or otherwise. Then we review it, break it down, and tell you what we think. And this week we watched not even the year 2015, like October's release of Tremors 5 Bloodline.
Woohoo!
Directed by, let me pull up the Wikipedia article, Don Michael Paul, whomever that is.
Did he do the first one?
No.
No?
No, he's done Lake Placid, the final chapter.
Oh, dear.
Which is like Lake... Who's Your Caddy, Sniper Legacy, Jarhead 2, Field of Fire.
Didn't know there was a second Jarhead.
And that's about it. So, Tremors 5. Hopefully, if you're listening to this kind of podcast, like you're more or less tuned into what Tremors is. It's like a bit like B-movie people really like it. I personally love Tremors. I don't own this one and don't really plan to, but I own Tremors 1 through 4 and the entire TV series.
I didn't even know there was a TV series.
Yeah, it only lasted one season, and I only think like 8 of the 12 episodes got on TV. Ooh. But when it came out on DVD, I bought that shit.
I'm guessing they didn't wrap it up at the end.
Well, what's there to wrap up?
Yeah.
Michael Gross is Burt Gummer in the TV show, though. The TV show's actually not that bad. There are some bad episodes, there are some good ones, but it was fun.
I feel like it would be hard to span this out over a TV series, but okay.
That's why it's not a TV show.
I guess so.
So, somebody who's seen what did you see, the first two?
I saw the first one and the second one, yep.
Okay, so you guide me through this. You guide us through this journey of this movie. Because you're more of the fresh and less critical eyes of the two. Because I have a ton of growing up invested in this movie. Like, I have watched these movies probably from when I could, like, understand what movies are till about 25 minutes ago when I finished this one. So this movie franchise literally encapsulates my entire life.
Now, wait, is that you have a lot of invested? What's the payout return on that?
Entertainment and years of great characters and interesting monsters.
Huh, I'll take that. I'd buy that for
which ended 25 minutes ago because this movie didn't have either of those.
Oh my. So the main character, I mean, again, I haven't seen 3 and 4, so I'm going to go off what I know.
3 introduces the ass blaster. It's not very good, which is like the fact that they called the flying version of the... Oh, for those of you who have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, Tremors is a movie about giant underground worms that come out of the dirt and slurp people up, and then they turn into things that walk around and things that fly, and we watched the fifth one of those. If you download a podcast that says Tremors 5 and don't know what we're talking about, that's your fault. That's on you.
Yeah, I mean, and the first one was very original too. It's great. Who was in the first one? Kevin Bacon,
Fred Ward, yeah. Reba McEntire.
She was. Yep. I remember that. But yeah, so it's about these creatures that come under the ground and get you. Now, so this one, the main character is this guy named Bert, and he was in the first movie. I do remember him.
He's in all the movies and is the main character in the TV show.
Okay. Right. So the movie starts off with like a kind of a advertisement for his TV show / brand that he's trying to make about being an outdoorsman and like his food and his products and
not even an outdoorsman. He's like chucking one of those like doomsday preppers things.
Yeah, and mixed in with like the Sasquatch hunter, Right. So he's doing all that, and basically this guy shows up to meet him, right? This guy that wants to be his cameraman because the other cameraman wants to ditch him.
Jamie Kennedy, whom I'm assuming you have no idea who that guy is.
I don't know.
He is a comedian. I'm going to say that in quotes because he is easily one of the most annoying actors, least comedic people, and most annoying people. I hate this man. Like, I've never met him, but like from everything I know about him, he seems like a pretentious douche, and I hate him. And I found out he was going to be in my childhood movie series, and I got very angry. I'll say he was not nearly as bad as I was worried he was going to be, but he's still pretty fucking bad. The first thing he does is pee. The first thing we see him do is just piss, which is the first of like 15 times somebody takes a piss in this movie.
Yeah, and later on we'll get into the things that happen after they piss.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into that. So Jamie Kennedy takes a piss, hops on his cool dirt bike, and then puts on crap rock and does sweet dirt bike tricks because everybody's favorite part of the Tremors franchise is the BMX dirt bike tricks. It was stupid. Why do we see a guy just do dirt bike tricks for 5 fucking minutes?
But he shows up to see Bert. He wants to be his new cameraman because the old one is leaving. They talk about he's I'm gonna expand the brand for you and help you out in your business, and Bert's like being the old crotchety guy. I don't need any help. I'm the best. He's like, no, I'm gonna help you.
I hated. I don't know. Like I said before, Jamie Kennedy isn't the worst in this, but. Because he's not over the top and he's not exaggerated, so he's not annoying. But there's these little tiny things he says where it's like, one, there's a couple of times where he just straight up steals lines from better movies, which we'll get to. But like within the first 3 minutes of him being on the screen, he says the words Twitter, Pitbull, as in the singer / rapper, and refers to the movie Breaking Bad. I fucking get it. It's 2015. None of these things need to be said. This has nothing to do with my monster movie.
So this fella named Eric Van Wyck shows up, and he says he's from the South African Wildlife Ministry.
You also skip the entire part in the beginning where the guys fall down the hole.
Okay, yeah, so they fall down the hole and somebody dies.
I only have to say that because in that scene, a guy pees his pants. He yells, "I'm pissing myself," and then he pees his pants.
Right, and that's in South Africa.
Right. Well, he gets attacked by a monster in a cave.
This is why we don't let me usually do the the movie in order, because I usually mess that up, as we remember.
Even when I never let you do it, you still screw the order up.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help.
I'm just trying.
You brought me on the show. It's not my fault.
No, this was your idea.
Yes, it was actually originally. You're right. Anyways, yes, so the guy from South African Wildlife Ministry says they have a ass blaster problem in South Africa.
Which, even as a fan of this series, like, that is the dumbest name.
And why did they call them ass blasters? Why don't you explain that?
Because they're these giant, reptilian things with, gliders, and they're, basically... Their stomach acid, when it reacts to oxygen, it just catches on fire, so they fart and they take off like a rocket.
Using the fire from their ass.
And hence the name,
right.
ass blaster.
Ass blasters don't fly. They explain that he says that a couple times in the movie. They glide. So Bert ends up agreeing to it.
And then that's when I forget who goes, Bert Gummer's going to Africa. They just said that for the trailer. But, I have it in my notes. The African guy says that. Bert Gummer's going to Africa. Why would the African guy say that? Why would he say that?
And then there's the whole thing, what they're trying to, let's be hard negotiators. And the whole thing is, we're just not going to say anything. And then what do they negotiate on? He's like, I'll fund your TV show for 4 years or whatever.
Yeah, I'll fund your TV show for 4 years. The South African government is going to sign a check over to a guy to produce an American TV show?
I would have went for the hold card cash, Cold hard.
No, hold card.
Hold card.
Hold card cash.
So they come in on the helicopter, and what's the helicopter pilot's name? I like that character.
I don't know, and I kind of liked him in the beginning until, he should have been dead and miraculously wasn't.
How come you're the one going ahead like I do all the time this time?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot where we are.
So they go on about, there's this whole, and then there's this one line that he tells them about, running in Africa or something.
That has nothing to do with the movie.
What? Yes, it does.
How? Okay, I'll drive. So they get off the helicopter and they get there. The dialogue that they have in the helicopter when they get there is completely useless.
So you're saying it's inconsequential?
Yes.
I disagree, but that's fine.
Okay, then please talk about it. You're usually the guy who's like, hey, we got to get in and out. I got to be on this podcast now in 25 minutes. I got a doctor's appointment or something.
Well, just you do it. You know what? It was an awful idea to let me drive anyways. Let's never do that again.
Fine. I feel so much better.
Oh, good. Me too.
Okay. So, were you nervous the whole time?
Yeah, I was kind of getting all sweaty, actually.
I was like, oh, man, I really don't remember this movie. Why did he make me do this?
My hands are actually shaking a little.
Hold on, I got to do the light switches on the wall. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hold on, where's my Ritalin? Okay.
Okay, so they get to Africa. Bert's guns are confiscated, which, you know what? Where the only character trait of this guy is he is a survivalist gun nut. Let's do the one thing that nobody wants to see him do, not have guns.
And you'd think he would have been like, well, I'm just not doing the job then.
Which he more or less does at first, but the movie still has to happen.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have any guns. He's got he's got a revolver and a stupid rifle. Jamie Kennedy, so he gets in an argument with these guys and there's like, okay, tell me where the graboids are. We're going to do this. He picks up a gun. He loads it. He gets ready. That's what Bert Gummer's doing. Meanwhile, Jamie Kennedy eats a worm, flirts on a woman, calls her a caramel maca latte, and then
he does. Yep.
and my next note is I fucking hate this shit.
And then did they already say we want to catch it alive?
In the Tremors series, somebody saying we want to catch a graboid alive is just standard fare. Oh. There's always I'm the evil businessman who wants to catch the thing that's the size of a whale and use it for what? Everybody's like, we'll make money. Doing what with it? What, are you going to eat it?
More on that later.
Spoiler alert, they eat it. Which is the first time that's ever happened in the series. They just straight up eat the fucking thing. But anyway, so 2 people are taking a shower outside and drinking white wine, like you would in Africa. And then a monster shows up and eats them. And from these death scenes, this director went to the Zack Snyder school of speed up, slow down.
What do you mean?
Well, because in a good monster movie, or it's Tremors 5. We know what these monsters look like. I don't know why they're hiding them. We all know what they look like. If you're watching Tremors 5, you have these things burned into your skull. For some reason, we keep these monsters hidden forever. You don't see the ass blaster full on for 30 minutes, and you don't see a graboid in a Tremors movie for a goddamn hour.
Which we could understand if it was the first movie.
Right. Even in the first movie you see them before that.
That's true.
And then when when it shows up, it immediately disappears, and you don't see it again for another 20 minutes. In the conceit of the Tremors universe, the ass blaster is the least interesting of these creatures. And it is the entire movie is this fucking thing.
I kind of like the ass blasters.
Oh, you would fucking say that.
Hey, you know what? You and I have very differentiating opinions.
Yeah, so anyway, instead of seeing this monster roll up and eat these two people, it does that thing where it goes like, and then it like speeds up and slows down.
Oh.
And then there's blood, and then the guy's like, no. And you're like, yeah, I get it. They're dying. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, what did you expect?
I expected the same thing that happened for the first 4 movies. If you do the exact same thing for 4 movies, I sort of expect the 5th one to also be the same.
See, you and I are different on that. Why would you want the movies to all be the same?
Well, they're not the same, like, plot-wise, what happens in them characters, those are different. But the monsters in this movie are not the monsters from the Tremors series.
Yeah. Well,
they're completely different.
and here's another thing. Do you want to say why they were drinking white wine and all that good stuff?
Yeah, because they dug up a fossil of a graboid, which is not the first time that's happened either in the series, but we act like it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like they never heard of these things. Because everyone knew about them, they just didn't tell them.
Damn it, you beat me to it. I was going to make that same joke.
Woohoo!
So, Jamie Kennedy goes to some tribal dance. Then this is the first, while he's at this dance and Bert's just being cranky, 2 guys are attacked by this ass blaster, and one guy gets carried away and chases it. And it was another problem I had with this movie. This is the first movie, and including the TV series, where there is no practical puppet effect. Every single thing is CGI. They made it 4 movies and a TV show with using puppet people. Except this one. Big problem with that.
Why?
Because first of all, the creatures, like I said, they're completely different. They don't look like anything in the other Tremors movies.
Mm-hmm.
And, are you falling asleep over there?
I'm not. I'm listening.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I don't know about the rest of the world, but fucking practical effects are better than CGI. CGI is soulless and meaningless and voidless of feeling.
I guess, Star Wars proves that, the original series.
A lot of movies prove that. The Predator, Alien, The Thing.
Well, I guess you've made your point.
I guess I have. Thank you, businessman.
Sorry to
Sorry
to bring this to a screeching halt again.
All right, well, why don't you tell us what happens next?
I actually
forgot.
The
ass blaster. You forgot. How do you forget? Do you take an Ambien and then drink like a belt of scotch and watch these movies, and it's fun for you to see if you can be awake by the end? Like, every single week you're like, oh yeah, I don't know what happens. Didn't you just watch it?
I have to watch a movie 2 or 3 times to remember everything.
You have to. I'm not asking you to remember the license plate on the back of the 3rd car in scene 5. I'm just asking you what happens. Like,
you keep
forgetting
to take notes.
Okay, so the last thing I said was the ass blaster picks up a guy.
Yes. And then they go and follow it?
Are you asking me?
I'm telling you.
Well, then they go and follow it?
Yeah, they find the guy at a bridge.
Right.
And he's, like, all bloodied and messed up. And, so what's his name? Bert comes out in all his, the heat protective gear.
Because these things hunt by
heat signature.
Seeing your body heat.
And the ass blaster's up on the top of the bridge. You can't see it. And it comes down and basically tries to attack him and ends up flying away with the guy.
Right, so they tell the other guy. So he gets in an argument with, you got to pick it up, man. Let's move. Come, we got to keep moving.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you.
What? No, sorry, I'm just I want to be thorough.
You never want to be thorough.
Okay, well, go ahead. You're good.
You're always like, hey, let's gloss over these points. And you're like, and then he picks him up. I think he uses his left foot because Bert, he spins back on his right. And he goes, oh, no, there's the monster. And the other guy goes, you're right, I think that is the monster. Like, let's pick it up, man. They meet the monster on the bridge, picks the guy up, monster flies away. Boom.
I believe also some gunfire ensued.
Yes, he shot him, and he gave him what for?
Yep. Watch the Monster Squad episode for that highlight.
Yes, watch the podcast.
Watch. I'm sorry, I'm more of a video type guy.
If you guys know where to download the visual of this, then you're a magician, because we don't do that. Bert has this weird, South African sidekick who's a real dick through this whole movie. But he's also wearing these, steampunk goggles the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that guy. And he was also at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, well, the beginning part that you skipped over.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. He's like he stepped off the set of Blade Runner. He's dressed like, I don't know what.
Is he on the Borderlands game? Or that's all.
Yeah, he is. He is dressed like the Borderlands guy, even with like the goggles. Kill me. So the minister guy shows up too, and they're like, "Oh, the ass blaster's over there." So blah 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 stuff happens. Bert basically shoots the ass blaster out of the sky. It explodes, and then the flaming corpse falls onto Steampunk McGoggles guy and like kills him. He's dead. So enough of that guy.
That's a relief.
The minister then goes up to the burning corpse and steals the graboid egg because, as you know, Francis, the life cycle of the graboid is the graboid. They give birth to 3 shriekers. The shriekers multiply indefinitely for about 72 hours. Then they each molt their skin, turn into ass blasters, and then fly away so that they can spread the eggs because each ass blaster has an egg.
And the eggs become graboids.
And the eggs become graboids. So he takes the graboid egg, and he's like, great, I got a fucking graboid egg. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I'm a poacher.
I'm not really with the Wildlife Foundation or whatever he said he was.
Even though Jim Carrey, God, I wish
that would have been interesting if he was in the
That
movie.
would have been great. Jamie Kennedy, like, later goes like, I knew he wasn't a minister. It's like, why the fuck didn't you say anything?
And when he takes the eggs from Bert, right?
Yeah, he takes them from Bert.
And Bert's like, yeah, you're going to have to shoot me because you ain't putting me in no cage. And, of course, Bert ends up in the cage.
Right, he locks Bert up in a cage, which I don't know why he didn't kill him. Like,
He's killing him anyways at this point.
You're a South African poacher. You literally kill things for a living. Like, shoot the dude. But they put him in a cage. He appears to be in this cage for, what, maybe 5 hours?
Yeah, I guess, right, because it's not like multiple days.
No, and in this 5-hour period...
He goes insane.
He strips off his clothes, covers himself in his own piss, drinks his own piss, cries about his ex-wife, a lion shows up, pisses on him, a lot of which, I don't know why so much got in his mouth.
And what is the,
Bert calls it a pussy. And then it runs away.
He does. Yeah.
That's a scene in this movie.
Yeah, they were really looking for some filler.
So a guy pisses his pants in the beginning. Jamie Kennedy takes a piss. Bert drinks his own piss, bathes in his own piss, and then a lion pisses on him, and then he also drinks the lion's piss.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there so much pee in this movie?
I think it was supposed to be for comic relief.
Oh, you think?
But it...
Oh, hardy har har.
Came off
Let
wrong.
me pick my guts up because I broke a stitch. So Jamie Kennedy shows up to rescue him. Tell us what happens next in the movie.
Yeah, something shows up. The graboids.
He puts him. He's in the cage still.
Right, and he pulls him with the truck.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Right, and then there's when he pulls him with the truck, and of course he can't just get away that way.
He ties the cage to the truck, and he drags the cage down the road in the truck. You can't just say half of what happens.
I thought that's what I said.
No, you said he just... Never mind. So he ties the cage to the truck. He's dragging the cage down the road. He flings Bert in this cage off the road. It tumbles like a car. Bert should be dead, but instead it's hilarious.
I was about to say that.
Okay, I'll let you say the next thing.
What's that now?
I'll let you say the next part.
Right. Well, then we shift over to back in town, I guess it is. And Lucia, what's her name? Lucia?
I just said female lead.
Okay, female lead.
I don't remember anybody's name but Jamie Kennedy and Bert Gummer.
And an ass blaster shows up and starts attacking them. They hide in the...
You say ass blaster like it's his name.
Ass blaster shows up.
And then ass blaster shows up.
I think he's a comic book villain.
It's an ass blaster. It's like if a lion showed up to your house, you wouldn't go, and then lion is here. It's like,
hey, lion.
No, a lion is here.
They hide, the guy and the little girl hide in the kitchen, and the other gal walks around with a bow and arrow. In
a scene that is stolen, like
Jurassic
literally,
Park.
That scene is from Jurassic Park. Even with the toe tacking on the ground, it's not even like one of those things you can be like, oh, it's an homage. No, it's not. You stole that shit.
So the Ass Blaster pushes them. They're like hiding behind a table. It pushes them up against the wall. They're in trouble. He's shooting through the table, and then female lead shows up and shoots it with an arrow, like 3 or 4 arrows, and kills it.
Correct.
All right, you should take it from here.
I took one scene. I need to go lie down now.
Yeah.
So
the body kind of hurts.
So they're tracking the poacher. They find the poacher who is trying to flee with the graboid egg. Then he is attacked by a graboid. Jamie Kennedy says, "Wow, this worm must be on HGH," which doesn't make any sense. I don't even know why he said that. Then we find out that the tentacles, which are the staple of what a graboid is and why it's a cool monster, are now not part of the, are not the tentacles anymore. They are independent sentient creatures that detach from the graboid's mouth and then attack and eat this poacher.
And I like how Bert's so easy to go, oh, that's what they're doing now.
That is so fucking stupid. Like, kill me. That doesn't, one, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Let's just say that. That doesn't make any sense. Two, they should just be like, oh, look, those are babies. The eggs are hatching, and those are little graboids. That would make sense. Two, they don't look like they have looked in every other movie. They are completely different looking.
Yeah, they don't even really have teeth.
The graboid tentacles are supposed to just be like, they're like puppets, because that's what they were back then. So they got a mouth, a normal mouth, like a top part and a bottom part, and they bite you, and they got 2 little horns that come out of their head. Now they're like, they're like the sandworms from Dune.
Yeah, I just thought, because like I said, I don't remember the graboids too much, but from the first one. Isn't the second one where they start evolving or whatever, or not evolve?
In the second one, they turn into shriekers,
right.
And the shriekers are, each graboid has 3 shriekers inside, it breaks out, and they reproduce asexually, they eat enough, and then they, spit out a baby. And those are actually the coolest. That, in my opinion, 2 is, in some ways, a better movie than 1. And they don't even, I was going to say they don't even mention the shriekers. They do. So they're on the rocks, and Bert is complaining about their current situation by going ass blasters are this and that, and the tentacles from the graboids are detaching, and where are the shriekers? Yeah, movie, where are the shriekers? They bring it up, and then they never explain why they're not there. Ever! I don't get it! God!
Yep.
In case you didn't know, in case anybody was wondering, I've replaced Francis with a soundboard. So when I just press this button, he says, "Yep."
Sorry about that. Had a situation there.
Yeah.
There's nothing I could do about it.
Haha, I agree.
Hello. Where were we again?
The poacher's dead.
Yes.
Finally, a graboid shows up, and 1 hour and 1 minute in to a Tremors movie, a graboid shows up. And like I said, it looks like a sandworm from Dune. It doesn't look anything like a graboid. It's also jumping out of the sand like it's a fucking whale all the time.
It's a great white.
Which they never do. Ever in the series do they ever do that shit.
And they're still hiding on the rocks.
And they're still hiding on the rocks, but that is the only time they hide on the rocks. Because in a movie series where the main conceit is these things travel underground, and if you're on solid ground, they can eat you, they do a whole lot of walking on the ground like it ain't no thing. Bert calls the helicopter guy. Jamie Kennedy decides to go into the cave to... What?
See what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, he's just he goes there. He's in this cave where the graboid is, because also apparently now graboids live in caves, which is never a thing.
Yeah, they move through the earth, not just in the open area.
He steals a line from Die Hard. He goes "Hey, come down to Africa, see a few people, have a few laughs." Again, they just stole that. He straight up just stole that. And I guarantee you, Jamie Kennedy, that he did that. I blame him for everything wrong in this movie. They're attacked by another ass blaster. The helicopter shows up. The graboid then shows up and eats the helicopter guys. Bert and Jamie run to the helicopter using cows as a diversion, which is the least exciting thing that has ever been in a Tremors movie.
I thought it was a good idea.
It was a good idea. Like, functionally in that situation, yeah, it was a good idea. But, like, in one of the earlier movies, they would have been like, we got to create a stampede. We got to, like, scare them and get them going. In this one, they're just like, hey, just, like, run around the cows. And they cut, and these cows are just standing there.
It's not like they're causing the cows to make, like, a big...
No, the cows are just standing there, and they're, like, slow-mo running with action music as if running through a group of cows qualifies as an action scene.
So they get to the helicopter, and then they use the helicopter's missiles to blow up the cave.
My favorite part is when you take your patented Francis big long pauses.
Hey, you know what? If you don't like it, I don't have to do the podcast with you.
That's okay. I just always edit them out in post.
Do you really?
All the time. These, when they're done, are usually about 45 to 50 minutes long. If I kept in every time you went, and then he got in his car, these would be so much longer.
That's part of my humor, though.
No, in addition to this, when I listen to a podcast, because I listen to podcasts, well, we're way off topic, but you know what, fuck it. When I listen to a podcast, and a guy, like, takes a break or doesn't say anything for longer than 5 seconds, I think my phone turned off.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
Or I think something is wrong. It doesn't happen all the time. A lot of podcasts are very professional, unlike yours, which I'm sure sounds like a pile of dog shit. But
some people are listening.
Anytime there's a big long pause, I'm like, what happened? And I pick up my phone, and then they go, anyway, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So if I keep in every one of your pauses, people are going to be like, is my phone buffering?
Okay. Anyway, go on.
I don't even. Okay, I got to check my notes.
They shot the cave with the missiles,
and then they blow up all the graboid eggs. Oh, that's right, because in the cave, Jamie Kennedy found out that it was filled with graboid eggs, which would mean that there would have to be like 50 ass blasters, because, like, again, in this mythology of the movie traditionally, each ass blaster lays one egg, and there's like 2 ass blasters in this movie, but like 150 eggs. And there's only one graboid for some reason, which doesn't make any sense, and no shriekers. I know I already said that, but I'm sorry, it just keeps bothering me.
Well, you enjoy the series so much, yeah, these things get to you.
I love this shit. This is now I understand why you get so upset anytime we do a comic book movie or like D&D and you want to like go off on it.
Yeah, because that's your thing.
It does. Wow. I think I just understood you a little.
That's scary.
I think we just had a brotherly moment.
No.
Are we bonding?
Nope.
Nope. No, we're not.
I am robot. Continue.
Beep boop, Francis Bot.
They blow up the cave with the friggin'
helicopter. So they get in the helicopter and they blow it up, and then immediately after that, the helicopter pilot shows up. And he just goes, yeah, it ate me, and then it spit me out. And they're like, huh, how about that? And he goes, yeah, I know. And that's the end of that scene.
Like, you didn't shoot your way out, nothing. He's just like, yeah, he didn't like the taste of me or something.
He was just like, spit me out. And he's like, oh, great. Well, you're back. Can you fly the helicopter, please?
And I think we switch back to the folks in the little mini town.
We switch back to the camp, or like town or village. They never really say what it is. Because now the graboid is attacking.
Yes.
Yeah, so the graboid is attacking, and this is the part where, like, they're just walking all over the ground. They're like, we gotta create a plan. While we create a plan, let's do a bunch of jumping jacks right here.
They won't know we're here.
Yeah, and then nothing, like, them, like, get off the fun. That is the point of this series, and they're just like, it's whatever. And so they, like, blow up a car that the graboid is eating, and it, like, they blow it up and it doesn't die, right? Or something?
I think it does kill them.
So are there 2 graboids in this movie?
There's 3.
Where's the third one?
Maybe you're right. It's just 2.
Because they only kill 2.
Right. Yep, that one. Yep.
Okay, so there's 2. So they blow this one up with a car. Then it turns out that Jamie Kennedy is Bert's son, which comes and goes so fast, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, you really end up not caring at all.
This was a part of the movie that you... excuse me, Jesus Christ. So this is a part of the movie that even you said you didn't like.
Oh, the whole thing with the dad. I'm like, why do we have to put this in? Couldn't he just be like the guy that likes his work? No, it's got to be his son that's been creepily following him for however many years.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, I could sort of get it if you wanted it to be like, oh my God, Bert has a son, whap, whap. But if you want that to be in the movie, like, sort of make that, like, his character point in the movie, that part comes in when the movie's basically over.
And also when you're like, yeah, that's great. We want to watch the fight with the graboids.
I want to see the monsters show up. Jamie Kennedy's his son. That's great. They look nothing alike, and Jamie Kennedy is, like, really annoying, but...
Then they go back to they're traveling to the village where the little group from the mini village is going to the main village now.
I guess, yeah, that makes about as much sense as what happens.
And they decide to kill they call it the queen bitch, which is the main graboid there. The little girl has the last graboid egg.
Yeah, like her mom's like, why do these things keep attacking us? It doesn't make any sense. Even though it makes perfect sense. Like, that's all they do in these movies is attack people. Suddenly, in this one, they need a motive.
Yes. You don't know, eating them?
You scratched my car! Like, so, it's like, why do these keep attacking us? And then, she's like, hello, little girl, my daughter, who's been in this movie the whole time. What's in your bag? And she's like, oh, just this slimy, wet egg-like thing I found. And instead of the mom being like, are you out of your fucking mind, and throwing it out of the car.
And smashing it or anything.
She just, like, looks at the driver and is like, I think we got a problem. Wah, wah.
So they get back, they all get to the village, and they're like, we need a plan. Or the little girl's trapped by the little graboid things that are detached, the tentacles.
Yeah, the tentacles have, like, surrounded her, and instead of attacking her, they stand there for literally, this is no joke, like 5.5 minutes.
And my whole thing is, they're like, they won't hurt her as long as she has the egg. I'm like, why don't they just kill her and take the egg?
And they didn't do that before.
Yeah.
The poacher guy had the egg, and they killed him. So this little girl has the egg, and they're like, they won't hurt her, even though we have literally seen evidence to prove the opposite.
But they said, we're going to come up with a plan, and the plan basically is they're going to
Jamie Kennedy is going to do some cool-ass dirt bike moves.
And then they're going to shock the shit out of this graboid.
With
lightning. And
the power of lightning.
Yes. And that's what they do.
Yeah, they shock it, and it explodes.
It gets hit by a lightning strike, too.
Yeah, it gets hit to... It's almost as if, like, God helped them. Yeah. And then they eat it.
Yep, they do.
Then they eat it. And then you think, uh-oh, Bert's not going to be okay since Jamie Kennedy's his son. And then they are.
Yeah.
And then the movie's over.
Roll the credits.
And then it was bad. All right, well, that was Tremors.
Did you watch the mid-credits scene?
There was a mid-credits scene?
Yeah, you missed it.
Well, because as soon as this movie was over, I turned it the fuck off.
Oh, yeah, it shows Travis and Bert, they work on a reality show where they kill monsters around the globe.
What they kill, so they kill more graboids?
Or any monster.
What do you mean, any monster?
It's just like, that's like the whole thing. We kill monsters around the globe. That's like their whole...
So, Jamie Kennedy's big fat face popped up and he said, we kill monsters around the globe, and it went black?
No, it's just part of like an advertisement for the reality.
Yeah, but what did it say?
I actually don't remember.
Oh my God, you can't... On a podcast where you rate and review and recap an entire movie, you can't just be like... And then a guy said something. I don't remember what it was.
I chose to leave that out so that people watching the movie could have at least some, non-spoiler.
Don't feed everybody this line of bullshit.
Well, let's see. So this movie, I thought it was great. I'm giving my review now, by the way. I thought it was a great movie. I didn't see 3 and 4, so maybe because I didn't see those, that's the reason I'm not into the whole lore. Like Reverend Zach here, but yeah, I thought it was good.
Captain Reverend.
Oh,
Zach.
Captain. Okay. Then the action. There was a lot of action in the movie, like explosions and guts and blowing up, and yeah, I thought it was okay. I liked the actor that plays Bert, And yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I give it actually a 4.2. I don't think the movie was a hot dog.
Even if the only two movies you've ever seen have been Tremors 1 and Tremors 2 in the series, those two movies are so exponentially better and more entertaining than this movie that it makes this movie the worst. This is the Rocky V of the Tremors series, which ironically, it is also the fifth movie. The explosions are not good, and there is not a lot of guts. Tremors 2 has easily 30 explosions and 30 gut geysers in it. If you want to see the best Tremors movie, see Tremors 2. Jamie Kennedy is, and I'm even going to say this, and I did not think I would, he's not the worst. This movie is bad for a lot of other reasons other than him. With that said, I hate him. He's very bad in it. But he's subtly bad. He's not like bouncing off the walls going like... He just says stupid shit, and it's just, instead of you wanting to, like, cut your own ears off, you just sort of, like, raise your shoulders and go like, ugh, why did he say that? They completely changed the mythology of these creatures. They completely changed the biology of these fake creatures. Granted, I know they're fake monsters, but they're different now, and it's done. Frankly, Tremors 4 was better. So here's my Tremors ranking. It goes like this. Tremors 1, Tremors 2, Tremors 4, Tremors 3, Tremors 5.
All right, then. Guess you didn't like it.
Did you know Tremors 4 is set in the Old West?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's cowboys fight graboids.
That actually sounds entertaining.
It is. It's much better than this piece of garbage.
Well, heck, I mean, you're going to have to make the suggestion because I can't even think of a movie to suggest other than this one.
You can't think of a monster movie you enjoy?
Other than this?
You don't enjoy any other monster movie except Tremors 5?
Well, I like other monster movies. I just don't... I'm trying to think of, like, something similar.
A monster movie that's got monsters in it.
Why don't you go first, and I'll think of one.
Okay, see Tremors 1 and Tremors 2. Your turn.
You can't just do it that fast. Tell us why.
I did already, about 3 minutes ago.
Well, I mean...
Okay, I'll stall for you if that's what you're asking me to do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm a huge monster movie guy, actually. I really enjoy monster movies. And if anybody stuck with us from back in the day when my friend Matt used to do this, I highly suggest, if you can find it, Jack Brooks' Monster Hunter. It is about a plumber who has to fight the guy who played Freddy Krueger because he ate a monster heart that he found in a graveyard, and then he turned people into zombies, and he hits people in the faces with a wrench. Jack Brooks' Monster Hunter, great movie. It's silly as shit, but it's very entertaining.
So I don't know if this is qualify, but can I say Alien?
Why are you so nervous about the rules for suggesting something?
Well, it's your podcast. I don't want to,
Is it a monster movie?
I think it is.
You say that as if you may be the only one. There's a monster in the movie.
All right, then I'm going to say Alien. What's the matter?
Are you only going to say the word alien?
Yes, the movie Alien.
You don't want to say why?
Oh, what? I don't know. I just thought it was, at the time, it was a really cool concept. Yeah.
At the time in 1979?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I like the whole space theme to it, and we all know I'm a sci-fi and fantasy nerd, so.
All right. Well, while this pod person who's pretending to be Francis wakes up.
What did I do?
That was... Every week we go, what do you want to suggest? And you and me both go, this movie, it's this, it's that, it's really cool. If you like this, it's fun.
I'm having an off week.
And then you said, I would like to suggest a movie, Alien. And then that was the only thing you said.
Well, I'm sorry if I've derailed the podcast today.
Oh, boy. Okay. So, if you want to send us any questions, comments, concerns, or hate mail, we love hate mail, you can email us at moviehotdog@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at moviehotdog. You can find us on Facebook, like us, and comment and talk and get involved at This Movie Was a Hot Dog. And please rate and review and subscribe on iTunes. It really helps the show. I know not a ton of people listen, but the few of you who do, we'd really appreciate it if you just said anything. Other than that, I'm Captain Reverend Zach.
I'm Francis, and I'm going to say it against my better judgment, but this movie was a hot dog.